Okay, so last question here. I got a question on was sample paper E question 13. So the diagram below shows was set up to investigate the production of energy and respiration. The seeds were soaked in water to allow them to respire. Apparatus X was used to measure the temperature. So anytime you're asked to measure temperature, always a thermometer. What form was being measured in this experiment? So we're measuring temperature. That's to do with heat. So the top form of energy is heat. Explain why a thermos flask rather than a glass container was used in this investigation. And the reason is that a thermos flask is a good insulator, so it doesn't let the heat escape easily. That's why if you go on a picnic, you would use a thermos flask to keep something maybe like soup or tea or coffee, because it keeps the heat within the flask, so your tea or your coffee will still be warm when you actually go to drink it. Suggest a reason why apparatus X was pushed high up into the flask. So it's to make sure that you get an accurate reading inside the flask. If I just had it here, it would still be in contact a little bit with the air. So it's pushed in as far to get an accurate reading inside the flask. And then in the second setup, the same equipment was used, but no seeds were placed in the flask. How would you think the temperatures in the two flasks would compare after being set up for 12 hours? So I've kind of gone into a little bit of an investigation or a little bit more detail here. So firstly, if I'm told in the second setup there's no seeds, that means there's no respiration, which means there's no energy, so there'll be no change in temperature. But in the experiment that we have here, we have moist seeds, so we do have seeds. And when conditions are correct, living things are going to respire. Okay, so when they respire, they always produce energy, and one of the energies that they produce is heat. So that means the temperature here will be higher. So all you'd have to state there is that the temperature in this setup would be greater than the temperature in the second setup. Okay, but I've gone into a little bit more detail here.